Final Fantasy V on the PlayStation 4. It's part of the Final Fantasy Collection 1 through 6. A game I've never played. I mean, obviously, we got Final Fantasy 4 in the United States as Final Fantasy 2 on the Super Nintendo. So if you're looking for that cartridge, it's actually the North American version of Final Fantasy 4. Of course, Final Fantasy 6 is a North American cartridge that was titled Final Fantasy 3, both of which I played and liked quite a bit when they released on the console. But this was a game I knew existed and obviously I never knew it. No one ever talked about it, straight. I mean, I knew people talked about it, but no one ever could tell me what the game was in terms of how it played, how it compared to the other Final Fantasy games, what was good about it. Like, there was never this idea that Final Fantasy V was some secret gem that no one knew, that everyone had to get their hands on. It was never treated that way, to my knowledge. Maybe I was hanging around in the wrong circles, but I was never under the impression at any point that people were clamoring for this game, other than the fact that it was another Final Fantasy game. I mean, in the 90s, you heard a lot about Japanese games that never got released in the United States, and you were always kind of wondering, if you were in my circles, hey, why, like, is this game amazing or not? Like, is this some, like, weird, is this some ridiculously complicated, complex, hidden gem that's like too good for America, I guess? Well, I think in the case of Final Fantasy V, I always remember this. GamePro had like one of those letters they got from one of their readers, and I think people were asking, like, wait, like, Final Fantasy, they were the same, Final Fantasy VI was great, like, why aren't we getting all these other Final Fantasy games? Like, I know that there were some Final Fantasy games you never got in this country. Why aren't we getting more of those games? And I think the response was something along the lines of, look, Squaresoft over in the USA makes the decision to localize these games. And they said, you know what? I guess they don't see the point in investing all this time and money localizing games that will probably only sell a couple 100,000 copies, which isn't bad, obviously. Like, back in those days, the idea of, I think Final Fantasy VI probably sold 200,000 copies in the United States. I wouldn't be shocked if it sold, like, millions of copies in Japan. If you told me Final Fantasy VI sold, like... Yeah, if you told me Final Fantasy IV sold, like, 2 million copies in Japan and Final Fantasy VI sold 4 million, I would believe you. But the idea that the United States would, like, go through all this trouble to sell a game that probably sells 100K, I understand why people might be kind of backing off, because Final Fantasy VI was a lot of work, obviously. The reason they made that game in the United States was because it was so huge that I guess they felt that they could sell a legitimate amount of, we could push a lot of product, is what they were saying. And I think by the end of the Super NES's run here in the United States in '96, I think you could reasonably argue that, yeah, like your Chrono Triggers and your, like, the really big games, the Chrono Trigger obviously got localized here. And it was very well received when it came out. But what about, say, I don't know, Tales of Fantasia, which I believe was the highest rated game. Yeah, Nintendo's Japanese evaluators, I believe Nintendo Power stated that Tales of Fantasia was the highest rated game that was ever evaluated by Nintendo of Japan at the time. Which means it got higher ratings than, say, Mario 3 or Dragon Quest 5 or, strangely enough, Zelda 3, I guess. Well, maybe they didn't evaluate their own games. But I guess I tend to believe that Nintendo's evaluators back then on the Super Nintendo were massive RPG fans. So you got an RPG that was kind of mind-blowing for the era, I guess. Because when Tales of Fantasia came out, they were trying to do real-time 2D combat, and they did. But it was almost like that game was like I guess you could call it the RPG. In terms of, like, yeah, it looked like a 16-bit game, but they were trying to do 2D real-time combat. And I'm sure and that, at the time, the idea of an RPG being, like, an actual, like, hardcore action-y game, I suppose, kind of really shocked people. I played Tales of Fantasia a bit on the Game Boy Advance. I don't remember it being great. Tales of Fantasia 2 I remember liking, but again, was it Tales of Destiny 2 I played? They got renamed. I played Tales of Destiny 2 on this channel. It's one of my first ever videos. It's like 10 years old. But I played that and I sold it because I said, you know what? This is not an action game. You can unlock a mode that allows you to play it as if it were an action game, but it's not that kind of game. Just a second, I got a DVR running. But that was part of the problem. You had this Japanese RPG with real-time combat that didn't really seem to serve any real purpose. I mean, let me put it this way. It was meant to make the combat more exciting, because obviously your average JRPG was doing traditional turn-based combat like this. And then, of course, your Mario RPGs were doing something a little bit different. Trying to add, like, some quick time... They're trying to add some quick-timey stuff. Not quick-timey stuff. They were adding some... What would you call that? I mean, they were adding some real-time stuff, like precise, like timing-based combat, basically. But committing full bore to like turn-based combat was a big deal back then. But then this game comes out. Okay, this game's like, I didn't double check the date. Was it 93? But yeah, Final Fantasy IV came out in 1990 in Japan. It was one of the, I think it was one of the launch titles on the, it was definitely one of the launch titles on the Super Nintendo. It was released within 3 months of the Super NES's launch. And I want to say it was a launch title on the Super Famicom. And if you play Final Fantasy IV, it does kind of feel like an NES game using Super NES tech. It looked like an NES game with more detailed, more colorful graphics. They had Mode 7 on the airship. Okay, we could be really funny and rename him Farts, but we're not going to do that. We can call him Mike Martz. We can call him Bart, which is probably better than, I mean, Japanese names. Bart. We can call him Bert. Well, don't have a cow. Barts. So we call him Mike Martz. We call him Farts. What else can we call him? Tarts. I guess I'm not deviating too much from the original game, from the original names. Whatever. Normally I would just be Tchalla for everything, but you know how it goes. So we got a meteor, right? That's cool, I suppose. Yeah, I believe Nobuo Uematsu is doing the music for this game as well. I want to say he did the music for every Final Fantasy game before 11. I want to say he did Final Fantasy 1 through 10. And then someone else came along and did 11. And of course, Sakamoto Hitoshi did Final Fantasy 12, the Zodiac Age, which I need to play again. I got a bunch of videos of Final Fantasy 7 already on this channel, but that's a game I'm going to come back to that game, sure. Because I did like it. I liked it quite a bit from what I played. And I was digging into the Gambit system, and I was having a lot of fun with that, so I'm curious how that will go. But I'm somewhat curious about this game because Final Fantasy IV was an extremely linear game where you couldn't even choose classes. Final Fantasy VI had a massive ensemble, but then it became an open world game near the end. Like, you played the game for like 30 hours, and it becomes an open world game that you can beat in like 4 hours. Which is cool, but it's one of those things where if you don't like the game up to that point, you kind of have to stick through it. Like, I remember some people who were massive RPG fans of the era did not like Final Fantasy VI because basically they thought it was too linear and too like in other words, they felt that it was too sort of restrictive, and then when the World of Ruin shows up, it just seemed kind of boring at that point. So it kind of felt like it was too distended, I guess you could say. Because they were trying to do everything in that game, and then it winds up being too much, one could argue. I mean, it's obviously super ambitious. I mean, they had a freaking opera in the middle of it. Like, that still blew my mind back when I was playing it as a high schooler. But as an adult, I'm forced to concede that it was a terrible decision, because you never should have tried to do an actual opera on a cartridge. Because, again, the music sounded terrible. The Super NES can't do opera. It can do strings. It can do flutes. It can't do human voice. So it's still the most, some of the most, as good as Final Fantasy VI's soundtrack is, the opera is still kind of, it's super cringe. Again, people who like it aren't wrong. I was one of them, but I am forced to concede as an adult that that's not the, if you want, it's a thing they should not have done, is what I'm going to say. And that is ultimately my opinion about the opera is, I'm kind of glad they did it at the time, but I wish they didn't. As an adult, I wish they didn't do it. Although it is a fun little, though there is a cute little sequence where the opera's going on and you're fighting an octopus or something. That's kind of interesting. I'll be the first to concede that. But what's this game? No idea. No idea what kind of game this is. Well, I made it through here earlier and he didn't overreact he didn't overreact like this last time we came here. So I'll be playing Final Fantasy VI a bit later. Because I've been kind of speed running through it just to see what the differences were. They aren't massive. I mean, the opening has changed in a lot of weird ways because the opening cutscene where the Magitechs are walking in the overworld with the mode 7 and the credit sequence, it looks slightly different. I'm not sure why they did it that way. So I'm not fighting so the Chocobo isn't helping me fight, huh? It's a shame. I do like the backgrounds here. Some very good looking. I don't know if these backgrounds might have been in the original Super Nintendo game. So yeah, these are some pretty good looking backgrounds there for the battle sequences. I thought Chocobos were supposed to prevent combat encounters. I guess not in this instance. But again, so I mean, like, how many Final Fantasy games? I do have Final Fantasy IX on the PlayStation 1 in the other room, but the first hour of the game is just prologue. I would never make you sit through that, so I might add some later, but I got past the 1 hour prologue so I can get to the point where the game actually starts, which is wild because I played Final Fantasy IX when it launched. I rented it, played it for 4 hours, probably never touched it again. Now, I remember really liking Final Fantasy VIII, but I never really played it was supposed to be a return to form. And I barely remember a thing. I barely touched Final Fantasy VIII, 9. So I'm gonna play it on this channel eventually. So I never played Final Fantasy 11 because that was online only, obviously. I'm probably never gonna play Final Fantasy 12. I'm probably never gonna play Final Fantasy Realm Reborn because I think you have to pay for that. Like, I think it requires a subscription or something. Unless someone although I think there might have been a beta that never got closed. Like an open beta that never got closed, something like that. I have some friends who play a lot of Final Fantasy 14. They probably know something I don't. But they also have a Macintosh, so that changes a few things, I think. That limits, I mean, they try to play Warframe, and Warframe is the kind of game where the game teaches you to play the game the old way. Let me put it in 2020. Let me put it this way: in 2020, when I was playing Warframe for the first time, basically, the game taught me to play the game a certain way, but the game ultimately winds up being way different than the way you're taught to play it. So it's almost as if the game at the time was teaching you to play the old way, which is sneaking around and using, which is using stealth and occasionally sneaking up on enemies. And doing some free-form combat, sure, but when you play the game ultimately, it's way different than that. It's just a massively different game. Can we save here? I want to say there's a healing area here. Yeah, like all the other areas we were in were dangerous for Chocobos. Again, I thought Chocobos were used to avoid encounters. Yeah, we got a healing spring. And I think I already saved the game here. So there's a bunch of grinding I can probably skip at this point. So I'll double check once I get a quick save in here. Yeah, I want to say I've already done a bunch of savings. I'll probably say I've already done a bunch of grinding, so we'll see how it goes. Well, I guess we already have some weapons, so we'll be fine for that. Yep. So we can grind in here. So, where can I sit? Let me do a... Where would I quick save? Yeah, so I would be saving... I would be loading that. So let's see where I am. Level 1. So if I load this... I should have done about... I did about an hour of grinding already. So this will take us back to where we were. Yep, now we're level 6. See? Saved us a bunch of grinding. Yeah, brother man... Yeah, so the... Brother man here is going barehanded. No complaints, I guess. Yeah, no one has any other weapons for you, dog. Ain't got nothing for you, man. In my mind, this is going to be a mid-Final Fantasy game, which is to say, less linear than Final Fantasy IV, but nowhere near as ambitious as 6. So in my mind, this will be a very mid-Final Fantasy game. In my mind, Final Fantasy VI is like the best conventional, the best possible 1990s RPG. Let me put it this way. Final Fantasy VI is probably the best possible 16-bit RPG of that era. PlayStation games are far more experimental, and I think they worked better when they were experimental. Richard Stroper. Like, I always think of RPGs from that era being extremely linear, mostly simplistic, not a lot of depth to them. But maybe I never played any of the Dragon... Like, when are we going to get the Well, the Dragon Quest remake came out recently, didn't it? So I am interested in playing Dragon Warrior 2 and 3. Like, Dragon Quest 2 and 3. Which I remember being... Let me put it this way. Dragon Quest 3 was considered decent, but there were way too many blind encounters. Like, in the American version, apparently they were terrible. But people who were into it probably didn't care anymore. But I remember some of the... Video Games Computer Entertainment Magazine had a review where the guy's like, yeah, some of this stuff is good, but there were rooms where there's a monster in every step, and it really drags the game down. And there's so much combat, and it's just really simplistic. It's like the game's just incredibly boring. So Square Enix, I think, had a representative write a letter in response to the review. And the response was something like, hey, don't you want to play video games? It was like, don't you hate having to grind for half an hour just to make progress? Wouldn't it be great if, you know, you could already be leveled up by the time you got to your destination? And dude was like, first of all, the combat isn't really that interesting. So constantly interrupting me with all this combat isn't making your game more fun. It isn't improving the pacing, it's dragging it down. And it sucks that I'm going through entire sections of the game where I'm getting into combat almost every step I take. And I want to say there were a couple of other things. Like, I want to say, what game was it? Revelations Persona on the PlayStation 1, I want to say. The North American version of that game took out an entire side quest, I believe. And apparently, because they reduced the number of random encounters, they didn't rebalance the game to account for that, so apparently you had to do more grinding in a way. At least I think you had to do more grinding. Or... what do you know? It's that One Piece RPG you've all been dying for. Actually, that was One Piece Odyssey. That was the RPG. I played it on this channel. It was literally just a turn-based RPG with One Piece characters. Yeah, what do you know? So they're showing Frieren on yeah, they're showing yeah, they took Frieren up from behind the paywall. So if you want to watch all of Frieren, I guess you can watch the whole thing on Crunchyroll right now. February 2025, or well, January 2025, which is cool because I've been trying to catch up with Twin Peaks on Pluto TV. Because I mean the timing is impeccable, but yeah, they just because remember Pluto TV is owned by CBS, so it's owned by CBS Paramount. So they have Twin Peaks on Paramount Plus, but they're just streaming the entire series on Pluto, so I'm not gonna complain about that. What's up, bro? I fell asleep. Guess I can't go through that door. Someone set us up the bomb. Dun, 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 dun. Yo ho ho and stuff. Yes, let's play Skies of Arcadia, kids. Skies over Arcadia, excuse me. Yeah. You are the worst pirate, Ren. So we got Red, Ios, and Tchalla. Yeah, so Galuf is the buff guy who like beats people up with his fist. You can be Ios. And there's Tchalla. Princess Tchalla, I guess. She tried to escape from the drudgery of life on land. Looks like she found the right ship. Tasty. Shut up, Ferris. Oh, she's wearing a large pendant, apparently. Tossed a lot of them to the brig. You toss them to the Constrictus. Although the Constrictus fit on the ship. It was kind of like that. Yeah, it was kind of like that monster, and it was like the monster in Return of the Jedi. It was just, yeah, we had this pit with a monster inside of it, and you had to escape from the pit. Look in the mirror, Pops. Oh, well, I wasn't paying attention to what his deal was. Your amnesia so conveniently recovers. It wasn't going to last very long. You're our primary protagonist. When the wind almost dropped to nothing. Well, something narratively important's happening, and I guess that's what matters at this juncture. So when do we leave this popsicle stand? That's not a very smooth screen scroll, but whatever. Because you're related, or you stole it. There's always that. Well, I know that. I want to say that was a bit in another. What was that in a bit in another story, like in another movie? Like, why do we both have the same family jewels, basically? But Cotton, what about the landlubbers? Sure, let's free the protagonist. What could possibly go wrong? Didn't they say something about the wind being bad so you can't actually sail a ship? And there's no auto advance for these cutscenes. It's very old school. And there's no fast forwards. That's probably one issue I have with this collection, is that, yeah, some of these cutscenes are very long and there's no auto advance and you can't skip through them. Although in Final Fantasy VI, you can skip through the opening, which I think is interesting. Because it's unskippable on the original cartridge, and in the Super NES Classic, it's completely unskippable. So that's not the Constrictus. That could be a Constrictus, I suppose. Look, I saw a lot of Dark Water when I was a kid. You're going to be getting a bunch of that as long as we're on this ship. And remember, Final Fantasy 1 had pirates in it. I just don't remember it being a whole thing until this game. And like I mean, well, we haven't played Final Fantasy 2 and 3 that much yet. No. I can't really go anywhere else. And I can't leave the ship. Yeah, I can't leave the ship. Okay, that's good to know. Let's do a quick save. So I didn't really have a lot of options about where to go at this point in the game. Yeah, we got 4 dudes. Do they have any weapons I can steal? So he's got a dagger and a shield. Got a leather cap. So what would I give him if I took away his dagger? Yeah. Maybe Galuf doesn't need any weapons. I said no. Yeah. So maybe I should have gone to the Wind Shrine. I can go anywhere I want now, apparently. Are we going to get attacked on the open seas? Apparently not. Whoop, there we go. So maybe we don't want to go to the Wind Shrine. Okay. Grog, what? Uh-oh. Okay, I was about to say, are they going to loot this place? They're going to loot and plunder? You know what? Maybe we're not allowed to drink. Maybe we're American protagonists, and we're not allowed to drink. First of all, you're just going to take strange kids to the Greenhorns Club? The canal to the east has a monster in it. Okay. I guess it's a sea shanty. For all you One Piece fans. I can't talk to this guy. Now I can talk to him. Is there a dancer in this game who just randomly dances for no reason? Okay, but the canal apparently has a beast in it, right? That's what the crazy dude singing the song said. Cure sounds amazing. So who gets to actually use it? What does Libra do? Forgot. It's a scan spell. So if you use it, you can if you use it on an enemy, you can scan it once and just rewind the game. So you can yeah. Like, first of all, what happened to the dude who was helping us out? He just disappear on us? Oh well. White magic. Well, she already has a cure spell, so why did I buy it? Or maybe, okay, so I bought it, but only the person... Okay, so everyone has it, I guess. So once you buy it, anyone can use it, I guess. Okay. Well, obviously we can't use it in a fight. We can't use it in the overworld. I mean, actually you can cure, sure. We don't need to do that. Yeah, it's already been explained. We gotta give Brother Man a sword of some kind. What? Yeah. Yes, now he's joining. That's cute. That is cute. Don't forget about me. So, cheap stuff. Yeah, very minor increases. What if we could, like, dual wield shields? Yeah, that's cute. That is a very nice touch, actually. Yeah, Maybe you shouldn't have run away. Is my response. Can be two-handed. So if we can dual wheel, that'd be amazing. Magical rod, but what kind of rod? I mean, can I just shoot? What magic spell does it give me? Actually, we can equip from this screen, so that's cute. So let's do that. So we can't go two-handed with this. No. Alright, so that's not an option. So we can't two-hand this weapon. I'll tell you what. Get rid of that other one. Can be two-handed, so give him the knife. So when they say can be two-handed, does that mean we need two different weapons? That's what it sounds like. Which is too bad. That would be nice. Yeah, that would be amazing, but it's not going to work out that way. So we'll see what we can do with all this. We didn't get more helmets, but that's okay. We'll worry about that later. Let's not complicate things. I mean, we're gonna play dumb. The game forces us to play smart, right? I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. Already came here. A meteorite, yes. Well, assuming there's a season for things like this. This is the Greenhorns Club. Yes, I am. Oh, so there's actually a tutoring session. Okay. So the guy was giving me an opportunity to learn how to play the game. Thank you. I just did. Thanks. You're a bit slow, kid. Up here we go. Now we're talking. Yeah. Oh, okay. Too bad we don't have a thief with us. Yeah, what's going on with this? This looks like it might be more detailed. So what are we doing now? Four chose market, whatever. You have job systems. Okay, so I'm not a freelancer anymore. Check out the blue mage. It's an actual cutscene tutorial, huh? 4 characters can gain special abilities. Okay, so now I know. But I don't want to be a black... I mean, black mage is the best kind of mage. But what if I don't want to be a black mage? That's cute. So that's kind of like Final Fantasy Tactics in that sense. Okay. Pretty funky bass on this music. Mixing and matching different jobs and abilities. Which sounds... A black mage, I can use the jump ability. Like a dragoon. Or a knight with white magic. Black knight with white magic. They're explaining the whole thing, which I think is adorable. Because, yeah, obviously Final Fantasy 3 had jobs, but they obviously never had them in Final Fantasy 4. And that was the thing in Final Fantasy Tactics. If you played with this job enough, you would unlock skills within that job. So that was definitely a thing in Final Fantasy Tactics. My pillow out the dryer. Get my pillow out the dryer. Had to clean all these blasted pillows because I was sick all weekend. Ugh. Still recovering, obviously. Yeah, saving sounds like a good idea. Yeah, you can harm ghosts with recovery magic such as cure. Where's the front and back rows? Yeah. They'll actually show you how to do it here. But they were never this helpful in Final Fantasy 4 or 6, I will say. Aging. That's not a help. That's not helpful, old man. That was not helpful, old man. Okay. So I was already here, dude. Okay. So it's the opposite of like Call of Duty, where you just go into a lobby and kill a bunch of level 1 noobs. That's kind of adorable. I'll be the first to admit that. The whole get out, pro, get out, elite. Only noobs. Protect the noobs. Eh. Okay, it's not very helpful. There's no one in here. There's no loot. Yeah, thanks for wasting everyone's time, Princess. Make use of that later, I suppose. So let's go to the bar and get all the drunkards. That makes sense. See, more dancers. Tee hee hee. All eyes on me. There's all of the stormers from the Misfits from Gem and the Hologram seem to be dancing up a storm. Don't get to sleep in this bed. Oh well. Now what? The heck? Were you peeking at them while they were sleeping, I guess? Well, the character was drawn by the character was drawn by Amino, so could be ambiguous. Slept like a babe, I did. You know, there's a lot of Final Fantasy VII stories that go something like this. They all involve Sephiroth and Cloud at some point. Now shove off. Of course it's locked. Yeah, sure. All eyes on me. I don't know what he's looking at, but that's okay. So basically they were peeking at her while she was sleeping. Is that how that works? I wasn't paying attention to Ferris's gender, so I wasn't going to pay attention. I guess it mattered. I guess they made it matter. Right, Diddler, we're shoving off. So we're good, right? We got that job system we can do. But wait, we don't have any jobs yet. What's the point of telling me all about the job system if I can't actually do anything with it? Yeah, I can't do anything with the jobs here. So what's the point of telling me all that crap? No, well, I guess we can get into fights. But why get into fights if we can't, like, actually learn any new jobs? Yeah, if we can't learn any new jobs, why even bother getting into fights? Let's probably just get the ship and do all this. Because at least we can travel without getting into any encounters. I mean, well, we can always turn off the encounters like that. But yeah, I think in Final Fantasy 1 you had to fight sharks and jellyfish when you were on the ship. It's been a while. But where do I get my jobs is my question. This is the canal. Yep, and we're getting attacked. Well, this could be interesting. I should be turning off the auto battle because I want to see if this rod does anything specifically. I'm taking too much damage, so that's going to be a problem. Items. Nope. Yeah, so her weapon doesn't... So I'd have to unequip it, I guess. Yeah, I think I would have to unequip the weapon. Yeah, Ferris is dead. Guess we didn't save Ferris. Of course it's locked. Okay, fine. So we just wasted our time coming all the way out here. So is Ferris like a permanent member, or are they just a guest? Seems to be the problem here. Yeah, so Ferris took 2 shots to the face, and now they're dead. Can't go there. Oh, well, we're getting attacked here. Oh, well. Let's make sure everyone here is not too strong for us. So if I unequip the rod, can I use it as a magic attack is the question, I suppose. Let's try that. I am curious how the job system works at this point, though. Yeah, because it's not activated yet, so I don't know what they want me to do. Hi! Well, no, this place is crawling with monsters, apparently. Well, time for some RPGing. He's probably dead. Yeah, so he's dead. We're just gonna call it. Yeah, we're gonna have to rescue him. We're the protagonist. Let's do the thing already. And this guy. So we have to stop. We have to stand in front of them in order to talk to them. We can't. In other words, we have to stop them from moving. We have to prevent them. We have to obstruct them before we can actually talk to them. Outstanding. Yeah, man. So we can grind here. Final Fantasy 6 had a few places like this where you can just grind. So this might be a place to grind then. But if we don't have any jobs, I don't want to waste a bunch of time trying to grind up then. That might be the problem. I've convinced myself that I need to grind. Yeah, still kind of weirded out about the fact that there is no, Yeah, I'm just weirded out about the fact that there's no, no jobs yet. We can grind here if we need to. Having more potions is nice. And we can always turn off the encounters, if we're being honest. Well, We're not gonna ride the white horse. We're gonna kill the white serpent. Wait, are we doing that again? Well, there's only one way around, so might as well go this way. This is save area. Yep. Sounds like a good idea to me, but I mean, remember, we can just turn off the encounters and come back the way we came. Because remember, there are spells you can just teleport yourself out of the cave, or you can just turn off the encounters and that solves the problem. Music's kind of jaunty. Yeah, because I turned off the encounters accidentally. So who wants it? Yeah, I forgot to actually use the rod as a spell. We'll see if that works. No, we can't use it as a... Yeah, I can't use it. Can't use the staff. Okay. So I can't use the rod as a weapon. Well, actually, maybe if I equip it, I can use it as a weapon. Because I was worried I wouldn't be able to use it. Well, other people can't use it if I have it equipped. But now it looks like no one else can use it. So I'm just curious. I'm just curious. It might not even matter. So got that free one. We already saved, so we don't have to worry about that. Can't use the staff. Can't use the dagger. Can't use the rod. Okay, so screw it. The rod is not a magical item like it is in Final Fantasy IV. So what? Stay mad, I guess. It would be a nice touch, but after a while, you didn't really need to use the items as magic, as free magic. But it was nice. It was nice to see that, because I remember Tactics Ogre had stuff like that, where you could use items would have like secret abilities. That was kind of cute. I'm probably gonna need a potion at some point. I do have a cure spell. I'm just not using it. We should have given Ferris something stronger. Turn off the encounters. It's just an empty room. What's the point? It was just an empty room. I don't know what that was all about. We already have a broadsword. So she can use that. Meh. Fine, I guess. I mean, I guess the dagger is what he wants. Well, it's better than the rod, shockingly. You have a dagger and a knife? No. I guess they get the shield. It would be cool if you can dual wield shields, but not in this game. Not gonna happen. Well, we're gonna have to... Yeah, I figured he wasn't. I figured he was a boss. Okay, not too bad. And again, what's the point of having someone in the back row if we don't have a... Wow! 5 hits and he goes down. Didn't even take 2 cycles. Wow. Did I get no experience for that? Maybe it was too easy. I agree, it was too easy. It wasn't even a real boss. One more chest in here somewhere. Oh, it's hidden, obviously. There we go. Holla at your boy. Probably should have turned on the encounters. Let's see. Whatever. Yeah, what did I get? Oh, it was another staff, so if you didn't buy them, you can always get them here, I guess. Because when I play games like Skyrim, I never buy weapons. I just forage them. Of course, Skyrim is a game where you're constantly vacuuming up loot. It's not like this game where you pretty much have to, like, buy stuff to get better gear. It'd be an interesting challenge if the only weapons you equip are the items you find. But in a game like this, the weapons you get are usually just, you know, they're items that you can sell for more cash. But of course, in a lot of video games, in games like this, you can get gold from treasure chests, too. I mean, yeah, when I make RPGs, I design them so that if you get a treasure chest, you're actually getting something useful. Like something you can't really find in stores. Or stuff that's, like, really valuable. Like I would never put, like, pennies in a treasure chest. It's a waste of a chest. It's a waste of space. It's a waste of the exploration you have to do to find treasure chests in most games. Although, when I would design treasures. I would design treasure chests to actually have valuable items. And if you're gonna, you would have to hunt for them. So treasures would actually be valuable in the games I would design. So do we get the job system now? That would be nice. You can tell I haven't really been paying attention to the story, right? Like, I'm not really, like, stuck on the lore. Hope, devotion, what were the other ones? You can't skip this, just so you know. Passion, devotion, hope. So it's not faith, hope, and charity, technically. Feels warm. The other three crystals, okay. Of course. So are we the main characters? Like, why is Galuf so important, by the way? I know why the princess is so important, and Galuf and the princess has the same chest, not the same chest. The same, well, maybe the same chest, but the same jewel, the same family jewel as Ferris does. No! Father! Yeah. Guess that pieces of crystal. So I guess he's to give us the job abilities we need. Yep. Yay, the crystals gave us jobs. Amazing. I guess we've devoted our life to labor. Well, warp panel is nice, but I guess we could also grind up. That'd be cool. Let's see. I can do a quick save here, right? The quick save was the grinding inside of the dungeon, so that's fine. So if we can grind here by leveling up, that'd be cool. We got all the treasure chests here, so we can just leave. But I guess what I can do is I can also... Here's the question. Can I go back to stage? Can I go back to level 1 and just heal myself there? We're going to find out. It's a good thing I saved my game. Now what? I already... Yeah, you already... well, it's a good thing so the game isn't telling you how to do this. In case you didn't go to the greenhorn. So that's cool, I guess. That's a nice touch. So can I go back in here and get healed? Give me the loot. Yes, you have to obstruct them in order to talk to them. Yes, the king is up there. We found him. Aren't you going to ask me about him? So we can grind here if we need to. I'm not going to make you sit through it, but let's at least set the table a bit. So if we grind here, we can increase our... Yeah, we have our job abilities here. So now we're in business. All right. So now we can play the game normally. Okay, so if I had a job... I like the idea of a monk. Just don't know what it does. Just don't know what good it does me. So can we go barehanded? Never a strong kick. Sounds amazing. So yeah, he prefers to go barehanded, and that makes sense. And you get optimized every time you switch jobs. It's like in Final Fantasy Tactics unequips your armor, so you gotta re-equip it. Chun-Li monk. Freelancer, blue mage, black mage. So you could do the whole Sailor Moon thing, I suppose. Well, can she learn the cure spell without being a white mage, I think? I think she can. Perform blue magic. Which is what exactly? So he can be a thief. Steal. Oh yeah, I have to go to the abilities to see what the deal is. First of all, what abilities does a freelancer have? None, I suppose. He can equip any weapon, so that's probably why. Maybe you might want him for that purpose. So we have a monk, a thief, a blue mage. I'm curious, is the blue mage like a red mage? Because red mages can use white or black magic. I'm not sure what the deal... I mean, I can understand what a guard would do, obviously. Okay, so what abilities does the monk have? Or they're not listed here, so what's the point? So maybe once we learn this skill will be useful. Monks can't equip anything, which is kind of hilarious. Yeah, I might not want Ferris to be a knight, but we'll see how it goes. Because if we can switch at any time, that'd be amazing. So let's do this. We'll grind up a little bit and end the video. Don't auto battle. I want to see how we do. I think the kick is just a sliding kick, isn't it? Ability points. So where are the ability points listed? I don't see ability. I say ABP, so I need 15. Acquired 7 of the 22 jobs I need. And in Final Fantasy, and it tells you abilities learned. In Final Fantasy Tactics... Yeah, in Final Fantasy Tactics, the way it worked is that once you, what is it? Once you reach a certain job level, then you unlocked another job. Like if you, I think once your knight was level 3, you unlocked the monk job. And I think if you got like monk to level 4 and like chemist to level 5, I think we combined those 2 jobs into like a geomancer. So that whole thing was kind of fascinating. You have to combine these into one video, and we'll get around to that a bit later. See what my kick do. The kick is free, I hope. Yeah, it just attacks everybody, which is fine. If it's free, I'm not afraid to use it. Well, what do we need to do to heal? Oh, so she can't use... So she has to be a white mage to use the spell, probably. First of all, what does the mage do? What does the blue mage do? Blue magic. Well, we don't have any blue magic. Yeah, what's the point? Yeah, we don't have any blue magic. So watch this. Who has the most, well, she has the most MP. So we can make her a white mage. Okay, so equip. So we can have her learn the spell, then just have her stop bothering us, I guess. Of course, we can also just go. We can also just go into the cave. Yeah, we can just go into the cave and heal ourselves that way, so we don't even have to do this. Yeah, you can't run in the overworld, obviously. So we could go to the canal and just kind of see what's up. That might be a quicker way for us to level up some of this crap. See if we can steal that nut. There's this thief trying to get a nut. I don't think we got anything. That's okay. See, I'm curious how this is gonna go. We'll probably grind up a tiny bit, but not a whole lot. Because I wanted the ability to grind, so I'm curious how this will go. It's still locked. So who's gonna unlock it? Up to strike. Nothing to steal. So we're not going to be able to auto battle. Brother man can't steal anything. So you only got 2 ability points for that? Well, once we level up, because 2 of our characters at the bottom are going to level up pretty shortly. Galif and Ferris are going to level up pretty quickly. They'll be at level 10 on the ability points. I'm wondering what that means. I don't know if that means I don't know if that means our job's going to level up. We'll find out in a second. There's not a lot of room here. Yeah, there's not a lot of room here. So if you want to grind, you got to like walk in circles in this very tiny area, which isn't much. Nothing to steal. So maybe we can't steal anything from these dumb octopi? Is that the problem? It sounds like it might be a problem. Nothing to steal. So we're not going to use the steal anymore. It's worthless. Yeah, we're not stealing anymore. So now Galif is the thief. He has the ability to find passages, which means secret passages, like the one we sort of knew was going to be there where the treasure chest was. So here's what we can do. We can switch. We can turn on the abilities. Find passages. So now if we switch to another job, I guess we can turn on the cover ability. Abilities, guard, we don't care. Yeah, cover takes hits for allies with low HP. So we need to give him way more HP though, for being honest. So we're gonna switch out. He can be a knight. Guess he can be the blue mage. I don't know. Be a monk. We can turn on the Find Passages ability, which sounds hilarious. So we need her to be able to cast white magic ASAP, so you can use that cure spell. Level 6 abilities. How much time does she need? She needs 3 more ability points, so we'll see what's up. Now, I don't think I want to try and grind up there. Seems kind of a waste. Any decent enemies down here? Just kind of seeing what's out here. Right at that point in the game, we want to see who we're fighting. 1 ability point. So 3 more fights should give Bart and Lena some a new skill set. Yes, this is a weird area. It's cut off from the rest of the mainland. Any special enemies here? Nope. Completely worthless. So 1 more fight. Yeah, these enemies are worthless. I don't know what to tell you. What do you think of the chances there's anything here? Probably not worth hunting down. The enemies here probably aren't worth wasting your time on, if I'm being honest. I'm hoping there might be stronger enemies in the forest. I can't make any promises here. Uh-oh, it's the Bay Hive. Only one ability point for those guys. Okay, so what do we get? Jobs. So that means she can be a blue mage now, I guess. But again, I don't know what the point is of her being blue mage at this point. White magic level 1. No. Magic. But she can use it now. There you go. So she couldn't use it before? Actually, no, anyone can use it. No, he can't. So okay, she can use it. So that's the problem. Only the white mages can use it, or people who've learned that ability can use it. So it might be worth it to make other people white mages. Just so they can cast the spell, I would argue. So let's do that. Because you want more people to have the ability to cast this spell. So it's good to have more than one mage, if that's the case. If nothing else. So it'd be worth it just for that, arguably. So that more than one person can cast these spells if we need them to. I can't do anything here. So there's nothing over here, is there? This is where we started the game. And we can't just carry it. We can't use a canoe and like just kind of like do portage, right? We can't just carry the boat with us. Portage was a thing back in the day, man. Having a canoe and carrying it over land from one river to another was a big deal back in the day. Like I think Fort Wayne, Indiana was a big deal based on that. Because I think Fort Wayne, Indiana was like an overland route between like the Great Lakes and the Illinois River or something. Like I think the Wabash River. If you wanted to go from the Great Lakes to the Mississippi River, you had a portage route that took you from the Great Lakes. I think it took you from... It might have taken you from Lake Huron or Lake Ontario or Lake Erie or Lake Huron down to Fort Wayne. Then you would end up in the Wabash River, where you would end up in the Wabash River, and that would take you out to the Mississippi River. I'm sure there would be an interesting game if there were a game like that, where you were like finding portage could be a huge deal back in that era. Because the way to get around quickly was in a canoe. If you were a fur trader, certainly. What are we looking for here? Jobs. So what did he learn specifically? Focus. So if you don't want to beat up a guy just yet, you can like charge for an extra turn. Don't know how I feel about that. And why can't I see the ability points on the left side of the screen? Okay. So it'll be a while for Ferris to get anything useful, I'm afraid. I guess I want him to just kind of mainline this ability until he gets to the next ability. Because other than that, I don't see what the point is. But like I said, we don't have any blue magics. What's the point of having a blue mage? We'll be fine, I guess. Yeah, that was like in the 50s today, man. If I wasn't sick, it would have been a great day to go out and actually walk around. But, ugh, I was in bed most of the day. I was just miserable. I'm just literally draining my head. So I need a key to get past that canal. So before I end the video, I'll set the table a bit. We could get all of our magic back. So if we have to go inside here and heal, that'd be all right. And I guess we can grind up there too. So that wouldn't be a terrible idea. Stray cat strut. Wiped him out in one hit. Oh. 1 ability point for the stray cats, though. We don't level up spells by using them, do we? Okay, so you could grind up here, see what's up with the ability points. But you're getting ability points per fight. So it doesn't matter who we fight. I think we have to get 1 or 2 ability points based on the enemies we're actually facing. What if we're just gonna one-shot everybody? Yeah, if we're just gonna one-shot everybody, it won't make a difference. So I bet when Letta gets to Blue Mage level 2, gets to Blue Mage level 1, it won't matter in any way. We'll get 1 ability point for this. So I guess we need to go back to town, give them the key to the canal, maybe grind up there. We could do that, I suppose. Black Goblin, White Serpent. Great name for a fantasy novel, I guess. Lena Master check. That's probably like a scan spell. So, checking enemy's HP. Amazing. Why would... Never mind. So she can learn blue magic, but she can also do these completely worthless abilities, I suppose. Like scan abilities. So no red mages, just blue mages. I guess I'm not mad about that. So yeah, the job system might make this kind of cool. Yep. So let's see what they want. Oh, bye. Gonna catch them sleeping? No. Great snakes. I don't think we're gonna need any of this crap. We might need better armor, though. I'll be the first to admit that. Maybe you should have run off if you didn't want us to forget about you. Dimwit. I mean, we might just need better armor, if I'm being honest. But remember, most of the crew members can't wear this crap. So everyone's got leather. Yeah, but it's such a yeah, there's a weight system, okay. But most of the stuff we're getting is just so meaningless. Like it's barely worth anything. Like it's like a minuscule improvement to our defensive abilities. Like what's the point? And where's the what's his name? Yes, the pirate boss went upstairs, and the door's locked because they don't want us to peek at her while she's sleeping, right? Like I said, Cloud Sephiroth shippers. Seppa Cloud shippers. So where are we going exactly? I wasn't paying attention. So we can't go back the way we came. How do we get the key? Don't need that. Where's the key? I don't think we really need any more potions, if I'm being honest. I got 5 free ones. Oh, for crying out. I can't skip the ad. Funimation's, Crunchyroll's being weird. Yeah, Crunchyroll's being weird. I have to skip ahead, see what's up. I have to see what's going on a bit later, because for some reason I'll be watching an anime and then they'll like throw in like a 6-minute ad for something. It's like, no, it's like they'll throw in like a 7-minute ad for something. I'm like, you want me to sit through a 7-minute ad? Are you out of your freaking mind? I can't skip it. Like 30-minute ads I'm somewhat okay with, obviously, but I mean, when they start throwing in a 6-minute unskippable ad, I'm like, get bent. Because remember, I'm watching this on a Xbox 360. It's not like I can... I can't just click on the skip ad button. It ain't working like that. So how do I get the key? Like, I went through all that trouble, but I can't go back the way I came. So what do they want me to do exactly? Like, yeah, they want me to go to the Wind Shrine by just magically teleporting myself there, but like I said, if we need a key to get here, we can't do anything. We don't have a key. That's what they want me to do. Works for me. So we're only going to get 1 ability points from these jokers. So Galf will level up eventually, but what's he getting? He's a white. Yeah, so he's going to learn the cure abilities. That might be the one thing I need everyone to learn is the cure ability. I'm just worried that Ferris won't be here in about 5 hours. I figured he might be a guest escort. So did I miss something when I went back to the Wind Shrine? I think because it feels like I got everything I needed. So you'll stay here and do nothing. Maybe everyone will get a job. So I don't know what to do here. So, where else can I go? I don't have that many options. There's the canal. I can't go to that cave. It's completely sealed off. So I can walk back to that cave. They want me to go back to the meteorite, I guess, maybe? Let's find out. Because there aren't many other places we can go at this point in the game. I do think it's weird that we can't just go to the cave. It's just really bizarre. I'm kind of just going in circles because I don't know where to go from here. Well, no one's going to run into us here. No, there's nothing here. So there's no reason to be here whatsoever. That's why there's a treasure chest down there. Yeah, so you can get this treasure chest if you want. I don't remember what's in there. And the game tells you it's here. It just doesn't show you the secret passage. Although, this isn't a secret passage that the thief can reveal, is it? No, it's technically not a secret passage, I would argue. Yeah, he has the ability to detect hidden passageways, but not that one. So that's going to be a slight problem. So there aren't many places I can go, so I don't know what they want me to do. So I'm going to have to come back later. So I'm turning off the encounter so I can figure out where to go. This is driving me nuts. Actually, can I go here? I would argue there's no reason to go here either. So it's not sealed off. Probably did. I turned off the encounter, so I don't know what they want me to do here. So why would I even go that way? Well, he probably got killed. Probably got horribly eaten. As opposed to pleasantly eaten, I suppose. So we'll figure out... I guess I don't want to waste your time trying to figure out what to do here. So I will end the video soon so I can figure out where to go. This is driving me nuts. Yeah, I did my thing. I did the protagonist duty. So we'll figure it out, I suppose. Final Fantasy V on the PlayStation 4. Record this audio with the Turtle Beach headset, plugged into the gamepad. And we'll head back. Video number